public. But I could make it private. I could just give the link to certain people. But I'm saying for this case, public. So this is important that's why I want everybody to look good, right, Jackson? That it could be, you're all stars there, right? And if somebody sees you as a star, and that's why we have everybody's first name, last name appearing. Okay, so is there anyone else who is, so Carlton, you're new to the class. Anyone else that hasn't been to the class yet?
Right
That's it?
here.
Okay, and you, Will?
Yep.
Okay, and Will, do you
But
want to,
I did previous notes, so I'm kind of up to date a little
you're
bit.
up to date for today's
Yep.
chapters?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And Will, you want to introduce yourself on what is your major? Where are you from?
I'm in finance. I'm from the West Coast. I'm actually from Oregon.
Oregon.
Not
Where
too
in
many.
Oregon?
Bend, Oregon,
Bend,
which is
Oregon.
like a small town in Oregon.
Yeah, I know.
And
I have friends in Corvallis. You know where
oh
that is?
yeah, yeah, Corvallis. Yes, I've been there many times.
Yeah, right. They used to have
Hmm.
wineries and they were also in the computer business. But anyway,
Yes.
okay, there's wine country. Okay, great. Welcome. Not too many people from Bend, Oregon here.
No,
But
no. Yeah. That's
yeah,
a little fun fact
okay.
about me.
And Carlton, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, ma'am. I'm my name's Carlton. I'm from Ohio. I'm from Cincinnati. I'm
Okay.
a sophomore and I just transferred into business school this semester.
Okay, great. Okay, so welcome. So hopefully you can be up and running as we go. Any other comments? And Anastasia is your infamous teaching assistant, and she's fabulous. She's been with me, and she's there to help anyone with the technicalities. Okay, so any issues, comments that we need to do? So we're ready to go. So
And
Matthew,
can I
what?
show the students the Canvas page
Yes,
really quickly?
please,
Yep.
please share
All
your
right.
screen.
Okay, everyone. So really quickly, last night I readjusted the Canvas page and I just want to show you guys so you guys don't get lost in the future. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay. So when you go to our class page, obviously you have the Zoom links. That's the same, the syllabus, the bookstore support. And so from here on out, every single week is divided up based on what you need to do. And everything is going to follow the same format. First, you're going to click on the what's due. That due ahead of time, that literally has the list of things as bullet points of things that are due that week. So then you're going to read, then you're going to do the adaptive after the reading, then the quiz. And then starting next week, you can see here that we're going to start having these assignments. These are part of your semester long project. So you're going to click on this. It's going to have a PDF with step-by-step instructions, and then as well as a sample assignment that you can refer to just, if you have questions or anything. And then every week after that, we're going to have the PowerPoint and then any other handouts that Dr. Rush might provide that week. And then if you scroll down now, you'll see that it's not all uploaded yet. So we're going week by week. But for the week and the week ahead, ahead of you, you will have all the resources you need to, get ahead in the class, stay on track of everything. And again, let me know if you have any questions.
Okay. So if you go back up, can you
1
share again
second.
your screen?
Yep.
So let's share your screen
Hmm.
anyways. So if you click on what's due for that first week, it's basically kind of the only thing, and I'm wondering here, Anastasia, I'm speaking out loud for the students.
Hmm.
You see here, everything here is not clickable. It just says sign up for Wiley Plus, the readings, the adaptive assignments, and the quizzes. But these two links, this is the only, is not in the other place, the miscellaneous register, the Wall Street Journal. Should those be outside, or you like it in the what's due section? Do you understand my
I do, like, you mean under the handouts?
Yeah. So
I
should we
can
put
take them
this
out as
in
well.
that part? No, but should
Yeah.
we put it there, or should we
Hmm.
keep it on what's due?
I think we should keep it under what's due because I feel like if we put it outside, then students are going to be confused and think that that's
Okay.
also required reading, which it's not required. It's not optional, but it's, we would prefer for them to read it. If you would like me for me to
Yeah,
add it under the
I would,
PowerPoints?
yeah.
Okay, I'll take them out and I'll add those links there.
Well,
No
or
problem.
just even doing that when but I say what's due, it's good that it's here, but maybe also
Mhm.
put it on the outside as well.
Yeah, I'll leave it here and then add it there as well. No
Add it
problem.
as both, okay?
Sounds
And then
good.
if you go to the next one for next week,
1 second.
okay, now let's go to what's due for next week. Okay, so for next week there's the assignment, right? There's the reading of tech guide, reading hardware. There's the adaptive assignment, there's quiz. And then these were just to get, one is to get the Google Pro account if you're a student. Google
Mhm.
now lets you get Gemini Pro for free for a year rather than charging $20 a month. If you're a student, you can get that free. So I'm allowing. And then the www.it.miami.edu is showing that the University's Miami's IT department, those are in charge of all the information technology for the university that we discussed last time. Okay,
Yep. And yeah, I'll take this link as well to the outside so it's easier to
I
access.
don't know, you can decide on it, but that was
Okay.
just my idea. If you think
got
it's
it.
better here, we can,
I think it doesn't hurt to have it in both places,
okay,
just for easier access. Yeah.
okay. And then
Alright.
we see it.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
great. Okay, any questions on that? The other idea, what I wanted to make sure everyone understood was the article about Anthropic and going rogue. Did you read that, Dylan? Calante?
It's Kayante, but I haven't taken a look at it.
Okay, so let me just share my screen. Let me bring this up. So this basically then, in this case, Maria, what is this that you're seeing right now?
The live streaming on YouTube.
It's a live stream on YouTube, and you can see here is my URL that I have on YouTube. Perfect. And then if I go to my what's due and I go, this is what you guys see. If I go to my modules, right, and I go for this, what's due for this week, you can see that I have an article, right? Let me put it in a new tab. On how AI models from OpenAI and Anthropic went rogue. And this was about, Marie, did you get a chance to read this article?
I skimmed through it.
Okay, you skimmed through it. So let's try to figure out what it means and who cares. Isabella, did you get a chance to look at this article on how AI models from OpenAI and Anthropic went rogue?
No, I haven't had it.
Okay, I appreciate everybody's honesty, right? Because it comes through. But we know you've heard of, Isabel, you've heard of OpenAI, right?
Yes.
Kalyani, have you heard of OpenAI? Did we hear about it? It's basically what is the product for OpenAI? Petra, what do you know of OpenAI?
I know they own ChatGPT.
ChatGPT is their major product, right? And Anthropic, do you have any idea what their major product is? Petra, if not, what can you
I'm not
do in
sure.
this class?
I would say technology. So we learn about AI.
Yeah, but what's their major product? Sarah, what's their major problem? And do I allow you to use your computer or your phone to look up things? Sarah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone should look up Anthropic of what is their major product. What are they famous for?
It's an Anthropic Claude.
Claude, perfect. Anthropic is Claude, right? And what does it mean it went rogue? So basically, there's something, and what I did here, let me just go back to what's due section. I gave you for this week, and the other one, I gave you an AI vocabulary handout last time. And basically what I did was I gave you a way to look at some AI contents that if you look at it, some of these contents, we can have the background of it. And what they call these AI models, and everyone I think is familiar, right, Matthew Rodriguez, you're familiar with ChatGPT, am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever used Claude, Matthew?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. So those basically are products, and they have something, and they're usually called large language models. Have you ever heard that term, Matthew?
I think so. That's the thing
Okay,
that
they're
like runs
basically
them.
models that they basically give to the public, right? That you can subscribe to. Some are free, right? That you use. There's something else called frontier models, Matthew, and their frontier models are like their leading edge models. So OpenAI has some models, you know how they have each time they have another version like ChatGPT 4, ChatGPT 4.1, 4.2, that they keep on doing it. They're frontier models, and I've given you this handout, are basically their most advanced models that they usually don't give out right away to the marketplace. Do you understand that, Jay? That they don't give that out right away to the marketplace. Why? Because they want to test it. And
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, so they want to test it, and you know, guess what? Can it hallucinate? Have you ever seen that those models can be wrong? Have you ever had that in type that it tells you?
Yeah,
maybe
at different times. If you ask it to do a little too much, sometimes it might get a little confused. You have to
Right,
guide it
and
sometimes.
sometimes they call it hallucinations. Have you ever saw that? It goes off into a while, or it gives us incorrect information. So basically, what these, and it goes so quickly, this AI, you know, even in the past couple of years, you can imagine, there's never been in history the advances that it goes so quickly, what they've done. And they're even surprised themselves, I think, of how quickly these models have matured. So what they do is they test these models before they send it out to the greater public. And that, you need to know, it's called a frontier model. Everybody with me? So these frontier models, you can think about it, is it's powerful, and they push the boundaries. And you can think about it there, if I gave it to managers and enterprises and businesses, it could carry unpredictable risks. That could be scary in a lot of ways, right, Carlton? That if I think about it, if you, as an organization, University of Miami accepts one of these frontier models, it could be unpredictable what it is. It may be somebody may be going off and hacking us. It may be that it's giving wrong information and we're relying on it. Carlton, we have a medical school, we have a hospital that's going on. It's important to do that. Everybody with me? You got it? So on these frontier models, these are their advanced models. and they're trying it out. So since they're trying it out, they put it in what they call a sandbox. So if I think about a sandbox, what does that sound like to you, Andrew, a sandbox? It means it's an environment, right, that is isolated and it's secure, that they can test out unreleased AI software. You got that, Andrew? So they can have it unreleased, Andrew, and basically what I want them to do when I'm in a sandbox testing it, I want it to be blocked off from accessing the live internet. Why? Because I don't want to hurt our real data. Just think about it. Does the university have credit card information of the students here, Andrew?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want them to hack and get your numbers and somebody charging on your account?
No.
Would you want that? Of course not, right? So they're going to put it in an isolated box so it doesn't get access. So here they say, even here, developers can run an AI model to see what it does. If it glitch, if it has a glitch in it, and what does it mean, go rogue? Go rogue means it doesn't follow the rules and it goes crazy. The damage is going to be inside the box. You with me, Jackson? So those are the ideas of it. And how do they test? It's software that does it. It's these AI agents that go about doing a task. So what people do, engineers, is they give them basically a task, right? And basically, how do they know if the agent, the AI agent, does it correctly? The AI receives points, just like you would do in the grades, Jackson, right? I give you, if you've done well, I give you 10 points. If you haven't done things that you didn't do, you get 3 points. It's almost like any game, right? I get points good for outcomes and penalties for bad ones. And what they do here is basically they give them a goal. And maybe the goal in this case is maximize the clicks. The AI then teaches itself. This is amazing because it's almost like machine learning and almost it starts learning. Is the AI itself teaches it how to behave to get that goal, to get the maximum number of points. So what happens here is some systems are open. What does it mean, open? That they give out their blueprints, they give out their algorithmic parameters, and it's public and anyone can see it. Have you ever heard, Jackson, that the Chinese have AI models?
I believe I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah. The Americans are in US are kind of upset because they said that they took the American AI models and then they what? They basically copied a lot and made it cheaper. However they did it, they have models too. And it turns out that the United States is competing with it, right? In one way, we want to get, being in the United States, we want to get better models than the Chinese have. But on other sense, we don't want to work so hard that our models have a lot of basically almost flaws in them that can do a lot of damage. So it's almost like you can think about is trying to find the middle ground. I want to be the best, but I don't want to get so quickly advanced that I don't know what these models are doing that they can do damage. Right? So basically, these open models are completely open. And I give an example here. It's almost like Coca-Cola and KFC that you have those recipes released online. Anyone can customize it. Okay. Now, what happens is there's something like a reward. What do I say, Jackson? That we're going to give the AI a task to do. They have to do it well. And what it is reward hacking is the AI sees that it wants the most points. So what they do is they find an unintended loophole or a shortcut to maximize its score. And they've gotten the program goal, but they validated the spirit and the rules. It's almost as if I ask you, you know, you're going to take the test, Jackson, and we're going to have it online. And what can happen if you take the test online rather than in person? And one of your classmates, what can they do over you is they could basically, you know, and we say it's closed book, you can't look at ChatGPT. If it's online, do I really know what your person on the other side is telling you the answers? Do I know who's in your room, right? Do I have it? So it could be what? Cheating. It's almost like you can think about it as cheating. So this reward hacking is when an AI finds an unintended loophole. What happens is they, in the spirit, causes unexpected damages. So that is what they call reward hacking, using these frontier models. And what happened in this article, what does this look like it is? Luciano, you see this? How AI models from OpenAI and Anthropic went rogue. Watch to learn how an AI agent escaped a sandbox environment. So what's a sandbox environment, Luciano?
Like a free environment, like
a sandbox is basically it escaped. We wanted to have an area in which it wouldn't go to the live internet. It basically escaped and went to the live internet and hacked a separate company without it having permission. So what they did is they tried these models to look at vulnerabilities of systems, and they almost like play a game. Let's see if you can find the vulnerabilities of the system. But instead of being in the sandbox, somehow these AI agents escaped and they hacked another company called Hugging Face. Unintentionally. It was Hugging Face. Guess what? It could have been what, Luciana? It could have been the University of Miami, or it could have been a bank. It could have been the Department of Defense. It could have been a lot of things. So this is why there's a call for regulations. So what I'd like you to do when looking at this, so basically you can see artificial intelligence models from companies including OpenAI, ChatGPT, right, and Anthropic, which is Claude, and Meta. What's Meta in terms of, right, Instagram, right, Facebook, that's Meta, use the internet to hack other organizations in recent weeks, fueling concern that businesses and individuals aren't prepared for the cyber risks posed by the latest AI tools. So it's kind of scary, no? In this case, if you think about it, Luciana, that for you to do ChatGPT, it's great. But if you're a business and your business can get hacked by these agents, and these they don't even know about it. That's what's scary. They say they don't know about it. I don't know if it's true, but they're saying, hey, we had nothing to do with it. It's our agents went wild. And what they find out is they don't have, Luciano, one AI agent. They have what they call a squad of agents or a swarm of agents. So each agent, it's like getting a group of people and saying, hey, you go, Luciana, you attack the front door, I'll go from the back door, right? And you get their car, right? And we have another one, you go to the basement. And you're all together as agents, and let's see who can do it. And then Luciano, I'm going to say, you know what, Luciano, don't go to the front door because the back door is open. And that's what they do of the cyber risk. So they break down how OpenAI's model broke out of their training environment to hack the AI company Hugging Face and explain what the hack means for, in this case, the Trump administration, but every country. Watch the video above to see why these likely aren't the latest models going rogue. So I'd like you to do for over the weekend is when you go through it, now that you know, Luciana, you know the vocabulary, you can understand why are we concerned about it? Or should we be concerned? So this is what they're basically saying is when it recently broke out and it went rogue for these attackers. So you can see in this case, this author from the Wall Street Journal created that. Questions, comments? So in this case, if you look at it, Joseph, what did you gain from that? What do you think needs to be done?
The sandboxes just have to be better structured so they can't really get out, and just less networked.
Right. And basically have in their systems have you ever heard the word guardrails? Joseph, what are guardrails mean?
It's like a way to block something from going too far or beyond the
right,
pale
and being
points to.
asked certain questions that when you ask ChatGPT, you know, I'm feeling depressed, I feel like killing myself. I tried, but I failed. You have any other ideas on what I can do? Right, Joseph? It shouldn't say, oh, you know what? You didn't do it right. You didn't take the right amount of drugs. Let me give you a better drug that you can be out in 2 minutes, right? You'd say, what? It's crazy. I should have guardrails, right? It should be telling you, you know, one is that I can't answer that question and I won't answer that question. And also, it seems like you need to get help, and let me give you help. And let me give you outside help, right? Those would be guardrails, right? Or for instance, that it would be, hey, how do you hack in? I want to hack into this bank. And I tried this way. Do you have any ideas? Right? It's almost asking, you know, give me another idea. How am I going to rob this bank? And it should be telling you, hey, you can. And so they have these sandboxes, and in some ways that they become what is concerning is that these AI agents start to think on their own, Joseph. So they start even saying, hey, you told me you wanted me to try this out. I'm going to almost cheat on that way, and it doesn't have the moral fiber or the ethics involved, right? And then you have to basically train that as well. Questions? So in this case, if I'm now going to share my screen again, let me share my screen. And you can see here that why this handout, why I wanted, and they even put that same handout, I guess twice here. Doesn't matter that it's twice here. But if I look at then what's due, let me look at these advanced communication skills. Right, here's the assignment that I need to submit. And this is the assignment in which I have the individuals, one of the two things. So the assignment will become familiar then. And Jackson, you're becoming familiar then to Zoom and YouTube. And one of the first things you need to do is create your YouTube Live account. And you need to go to zoom.miami.edu. And let me just go to one other place here. And if I look at the second part, the sample assignment, this is an example of how you should complete your assignment. You see this, Sarah? You should have 3 applicable links. One is from the cloud, one is local, and one is YouTube Live. So Jackson, when it says local, what does that mean? Did you figure that out, Jackson?
Yeah, it's like an MP4. It just stays on like your computer. It's not
right.
Like
so what?
Shareable,
perfect. Really. So this is great that why it's great that I'm calling on you, that we're basically reinforcing what you know. When I said in Zoom, I can record to the cloud versus I can record to this computer, local is this computer. Meaning that, so what's the advantage of that, Jackson, to record just to your computer?
Well, if you don't want to share it with anybody else, then that'd probably be the best way to keep certain things like to yourself.
Right.
Versus if you were going to use the cloud, like for what you were talking about earlier, that would be if you wanted to share with like the rest of us or with someone from the department. It'd be easier to
Right.
share
And
it.
you could just share it with certain people too, and you could make it like shareable that they can't share again, but you would be able to do it. Could you share an MP4 file? You could upload it somewhere, you could send it somewhere, you know. You could, sometimes you may want to do it first to be able to see it. And the beauty here is when you're going to do your local one, you want to name it this. I want everybody to name it in this format by the date. Everybody should have it, and you'll get points taken off if you do not do it. So you can put this in your notes here. When you record to this computer or locally, you want to put the date that you submit, the time, your name, and the name of whatever you're doing. In this case, Zoom individual. And it has an extension of MP4. And notice it's almost like a little link here for this media. It's basically a media file. You have this one that says YouTube Live. It's just like, remember when I showed you my YouTube Live, right? That I have a YouTube Live here, right? That this is my YouTube Live feed. Did you create this, Jackson?
The YouTube Live link? Yeah, I have one of those.
You have one of those, but YouTube created it for you, right?
Yes.
It put YouTube Live, and then it gave you all these crazy numbers here. But this is part of your channel here. And this comes from, you want to turn it on, that you have an AI summary. Zoom provides in our version using the University of Miami an AI summary. Isn't that great, Jackson? Instead of you having to summarize what you've done, it summarizes. And what else is it good, Jackson, is when you do another one, you say, hey, the first time it wasn't so good, you can then redo it and just resubmit, right? And then you could even, in this case, if you resubmit, you could say second time resubmission, you would have different dates. And you can even put a note there that improved version, right? And then the key concepts of local recording, what is cloud recording, what is YouTube live streaming, what is Zoom AI features. And then I want you to think about, and of course, I don't want to take individually what Lily did, is think about what are the key takeaways and what challenges you had. And it may be that you know, the first time around, you can even cite cite what problems you had, what challenges you had, and cite that in that assignment. So these are important. And what's nice here is you can watch then. Let me just open this in a new tab. Move this a bit down. You can see exactly what you need to do and what you need to submit. What's nice here, did you have this, Jackson, where it had also your text to speech?
I can't say I looked through it, but
no, but it produced it.
Yeah, I did.
Right, and later on you could see how well it interpreted. AI does it. It's pretty incredible. Takes your voice, and now we almost take it for granted. It can do then your speech. Sometimes what you can do then, and see if it made some mistakes, you could possibly correct it. And then what's important, I'm just going to go a little bit through it. You can see that Lily is, let me just then play this.
Toolbar access,
and you can just even see how she's doing it. And then later on, you can see that you want to be able
how we set up our settings. Hello?
You can see then, basically, I'm going to stop it for a second. You can see how she's sharing the screen. I like the idea. She didn't need to have two versions of herself, but I like the idea that you can see for the authenticity of it, that you have your face as well. And basically what I want you to do is get familiar with all the settings. Some settings are set by the administrator and we're not even able, they basically lock it out. So all of us can't gain access to some of the settings. Other settings, you get to have like the back end of it and see how you can basically make sure that you can do a live stream, you can set up other parts. So that's basically what I want from this part, for you to be able to get familiar with Zoom, that you can create your own, you can do local recordings, you can do to the cloud, you know what that means, and also that you can use their AI and YouTube live streaming. So you see that? You have a question, Jackson? So now when you look at one time, what I suggest you do, if you have, it won't take you that long now to do it, right? The second time, and you can improve it. And what I want, Jackson, is your recordings to be like a tutorial that you could give it to someone else and say, oh, you don't know how to do it, just follow my tutorial. And once you do it, then it's almost like second nature to you, Jackson. When somebody asks you, what can you do for us? Hey, we can then have not only record our own meetings, but stream it to live and also have the transcript as well, and highlighting some of the transcript, and to see how well AI then can convert basically our voice to text, and see how well that does. Any questions, comments? Okay. So the next part in what we need to do besides that of the Zoom is also the reading from the chapter. So let me just share my screen again. And in sharing my screen again, if I go back to the sample, I'm going to just go back to the modules. And I look at the adaptive, you can see here that I also have the hardware of the PowerPoint, and you see it on hardware. It's Tech Guide 1 that I'm using. And what's important here, let me just go to this. You have the PowerPoint, and what is going to be important here is that our introduction to hardware is basically anything we can touch. We have the laptops now, but my reasoning to go to the hardware is I'd like you to read this chapter and think, do you think AI will have any effect on hardware now, and what businesses need to consider in hardware? And that the question is, Colin, what do you think? Do you think AI will have any influence about hardware issues for companies?
Yeah, I think it will. I think there's a lot of applications AI could have in tech in all branches of like
Okay. Have you ever heard of a data center, Colin?
I have.
What?
I have, yeah.
And what is the controversy? Do you even know what a data center is? What do you think a data center is?
Well, beyond like, I guess, storing data, I think it's just like
So have you heard that there's now controversy about data centers that they're going to build OpenAI and Microsoft and Anthropic want to open up, build data centers? Have you heard about that?
Yeah, aren't they? They're just like these big like warehouses that just store like the physical
Okay.
computer
Have you
stuff.
ever worked with Amazon? Have you ever ordered anything from Amazon?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I got a lot of boxes. You have a lot of boxes. All those boxes here. And Amazon, there's two kind of facilities in think about Amazon. Amazon has two facilities. One facility they have is where they package the goods. I even did a tour of their Amazon fulfillment facility. It's a big warehouse. And what do they have? They have some things where they have robots moving different inventory around, right? T-shirts around or TVs around. And what was my biggest surprise, I thought I'd see more robotics there, but when I went in the summer, when I saw it, it was amazing. Still, they had humans still packing things. I think they're going to change that where they'll have it more robotics doing it, but they still have humans in the route, and then they'll have it go straight to the, their Amazon trucks that you see them going around. That's their physical fulfillment center. Amazon also has and they call it almost their cloud services. They have other facilities that they just have their hardware there. They have their servers there. And when we order things, you have, and probably all the class has, you have a cart, you put it in the cart, and it says, do you want it next day, or do you want it, what does Amazon say, that you have a free day or whatever? They order it, and then if I want to return it, they keep track, and they say I can go to Whole Foods or I can go to UPS, and I can physically return it. You know that part, right, Colin? That's their physical, that's their way in which they're getting all my data. You with me so far?
Yeah.
The other part where they're having the data centers, what are they holding in their data centers? That they're creating these
like user information. I don't know, just all like the back.
These data centers, what are they holding? Any other ideas? Joseph, what do you think these data centers will be storing?
Lots and lots of GPUs.
For what?
Actually doing the prompts.
Right.
Like when you type in the chat.
Basically, all those modules, right? That when I put something into ChatGPT, right, Joseph? It will then be coming back and responding so quickly. Have you noticed sometimes it takes some time, and sometimes it will be really quick. It's amazing how quickly it is. That requires what they call graphical processor units, but that requires a lot of power. Much more, Joseph, than Amazon fulfilling my order to get whatever I ordered, whatever my family orders, right? That gets there in the next day, and we're all happy that it gets there. And then I got a lot of boxes to worry about. That requires a lot of power. So when I read the chapter, in this chapter, it deals with not the data center, Joseph, but traditional computing, like my own individual computing and my own computer, and also basically my standard computing like Amazon fulfilling my orders. But what is going to be, and that's what I'll have next, I'll have additional handouts with you, Joseph, to figure out how these data centers will work. And now all of a sudden it's controversy. Have you heard that, Joseph? All of a sudden, in the beginning, everybody was excited, and now politicians are going, oh, I'm against it, not in my backyard. And I don't really think people understand it. But why? Because those computers are not just even doing one task, one computer providing a process, but there could be thousands of computers linked together to do one process. And what does it mean? It gets very hot. It needs a lot of cooling. It needs special, what they call GPUs, graphic processor units. It needs what they call NPUs, neural processing units. What? To be able to take that data, those prompts, and be able to basically in return give you answers to for mathematical. And not only does it need those processing, but what else does it need? A lot of memory. And have you heard, Joseph, there's a run on memory's now very expensive for computers? Have you heard that, Joseph? Yes, no, you have to unmic yourself.
Yeah, they've definitely, especially RAM, has gotten very expensive.
RAM has gotten very expensive. Random access memory has gotten very expensive. Why? Because all these data centers are requiring more and more of this memory, right, Joseph? And what's happening, it's supply and demand. The suppliers can't even keep up. So when I want my own laptop, it's going to be a lot more expensive because I need more. And if I want to do any AI processing within my organization, I'm going to need a lot more RAM to do my processing. And there's now an idea with these data centers, it's going to need a lot more cooling. So it's going to need more water. It's going to need more electricity. I don't know in terms of pollution what it's going to do. So it's so cities now are saying, I don't know what it's like. They're non-transparent of what's going to be happening. But in one sense, everybody wants to be advanced, right? That we get to be lazy. Do you ever use any of the models, Joseph, for just every day or for work? It's like secondhand, right? You use it all the. How often do you use it, Joseph? You'd say.
I'm probably on Claude probably 4 to 6 hours a day. So
okay, so 4 to 6 hours. And what do you do on 4 to 6 hours a day? If we can, you can share.
This summer I used it a lot for work, like financial modeling stuff. So
right, and they're using it right. So financial modeling. So now what companies are thinking about, Joseph, is how much should I do even locally on a company? And one is not share with the internet and not have my data be shared with a lot of these companies, and how much should I let them do? And then there's a way in which people are doing. And then we'll be talking about kind of like the edge computing versus using it via the internet. So you can see that even that one chapter will go beyond that and see what are the issues that the people are striving to do. Excellent. So what did you do was it an internship you did this summer? Where did you work?
I worked for a development firm back in Chicago.
Okay, and what did you do?
Just analyzing future development opportunities and then just comping the current properties that they own and how to like rental prices.
Right.
And I would just have it gather a lot of data because it's much quicker than doing anything manually.
Yeah. There's no competition in that. And the question is that data that it's so valuable for companies. They say, hey, why shouldn't I use it? And how can I, and if I don't use it, I'm not going to be as competitive, versus what could be the possibilities if that data leaked, right? What are my liabilities to use some of these models? So there's a lot of issues that companies need to do that they're a bit reluctant. They just can't go all out, but it's getting better and better almost every week or every couple of months. So those are areas in which we'll deal with it. Okay. Any other questions, comments? So those of you that are new can stay with me after class. Those of you that need some questions, I'll have Anastasia. She'll do the attendance just for this section, right, Anastasia? And not for the other one. And people can stay with me afterwards to answer the questions and see what they do. Perfect. So you can, and what I urge you to do is everybody to finish up on Monday, even that first assignment. So when you get stuck, you know, that you're not. And Monday we're going to be doing, we're going to assign groups. So the next assignment we'll do in a group format. So it's important that everybody attend the next class as well to do group. Okay? After you take attendance, you're welcome to take off and enjoy your week. Those that want to stay with me, especially my new students, stay with me. And I thank our moderators. And Jackson, thanks a lot for doing that early, your assignment. Okay. So, Jay, do you have a question?
No,
Did you
I'm
get
just
attendance?
opening my phone to do the attendance right now.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Thank
And
you. Have a good
Nina?
day.
Perfect. Let me shut down my recording. Anastasia, always remind me. Thank you so much. Turn off AI Companion. Turn off my YouTube.